Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the Newberry High School football field, where we are ready to kick off the holiday weekend on a beautiful Thursday night with a rivalry matchup unlike any other. It is the Munising Mustangs visiting the Newberry Indians in the 2023 battle for the X. Two big matchups last year between these two teams. The only two losses that came on the Indians' schedule. They lost the X in week 2, and then in a mud pit in the regional finals was Munising, who advanced further in the playoffs and ended the Indian season. Coach Joe Austin has had that stewing in the pit of his stomach since the end of last season. The Newberry seniors, they've never had possession of the axe. They want to go out on top in this rivalry matchup, and it'll be interesting to see. Both teams have plenty to work on after week 1. Indians beat Brimley 72-42 in a shootout, while the Mustangs expected to be a little bit down this year, but I don't think they expected to lose by 5 touchdowns to the Rudyard Bulldogs on their home field in week number 1. Welcoming in our broadcast partner for our select games this season, the coach, Jeff Puckett. And Coach, I know you got to be thrilled to be out here on a beautiful night for high school football.
Dan, I sure am, and I tell you what, folks, if you can get down here to the field and see it live, you should, and then you can always watch the tape later on M123 FM, sponsored by the Newberry News. You can't miss. You can still plug in your phone and still hear us if you got to have the play-by-play. And it's a beautiful night for football. If not, sit back, relax, throw that broadcast to the TV and enjoy. It's Axe Night. Munising comes to our house. I'm looking for a big game, Dan.
Should be a tough physical matchup. Always is when these two teams get together, and I think maybe the Indians match up with that physicality a little bit. They have the experience on the line this year. And the running back combo, Brian Nelson, Kennedy Depew, they're not flashy, but last week they averaged over 8 yards per carry and combined to go for almost 130 yards and scored 4 touchdowns on the ground.
We've got some experience up front. That's going to help a great deal. We saw that, I think. And 2 hard-nosed runners for sure, Dan.
Of course, Matthew Rahalli had a game to remember last week. He scored 6 touchdowns, 5 different ways, had another one called back. Over 500 yards of all-purpose yardage for Matthew Rahalli last week when you add up the kick returns, the punt returns, the runs, the passes. 8-man football's a game about matchups, and it always helps to have the number 1 guy on the field.
It sure is. You get a kid like that with his athletic ability, his talent, his leadership ability, his varsity experience, and he really put on a show on Friday night. And I hope that we see some of that same stuff here tonight.
I've coached Matthew all throughout his middle school days, helped in camp when he was a freshman before he got moved up to the varsity. And I can tell you, he gets plenty of accolades. But the one thing I tell people about Matthew Rahalli, first and foremost, it makes everybody else around him better. He is the ultimate team player. This is a guy, when he was in 8th grade, waved me back to the sideline. He called an entire drive of offense on his own to get the one kid on the team who hadn't scored a touchdown, the scoring play. As you mentioned, his leadership and his maturity lies beyond only being a junior.
Yeah, and that says so much about his character. Everybody focuses on that athletic ability, but his leadership ability and the other things he does for this football team, you just can't say enough good things about the kid.
We will step aside when we come back. We will talk about a couple of players to watch and keys to the game and kick this thing off. It's the Indians and the Mustangs in the battle for the X with M123 FM, the E.U.P Sports Network, and streaming to your big screen through YouTube with the Newberry.
The things that we do as well as any place you could get it done.
Dr. Benjamin Bryant is proud of the surgery performed at Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and reminds you, if you've put off some procedures because of COVID, chances are the surgery team at Helen Newberry Joy can perform it right here close to home.
We have a very experienced team. I think that our outcomes speak for us in terms of the job that gets done.
The list of procedures available just minutes from home at Helen Newberry Joy is impressive.
Gallbladder surgery is very, very common. We fix hernias. We put ports in. We remove all sorts of other lesions. We do vasectomies here. I don't think the public really knows that.
So if you've been putting off a procedure, it's only a quick phone call away.
I recommend that if they have a primary care doctor, they keep that doctor in the loop. But all they have to do is either call their doctor's office or call my office and ask to be scheduled, and they get scheduled.
Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center. Your health, our passion.
It's a huge inventory reduction sale at Newberry Motors. Get a 2014 Chevy Silverado Crew 4x4 with 152,000 miles for only $19,995 or best offer. With over $2 million in pre-owned late model inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs that gotta go. It's a huge inventory reduction sale happening now at Newberry Motors, your locally owned family-run dealer. Call 906-293-5104 or find us on South M123 in Newberry.
Junior. Number 24, Matthew Rahali, a junior.
Back here in Newberry as we get you ready for kickoff. Tom Rahali, the PA announcer this year, introducing the players before tonight's contest. Newberry Motors gives us our keys to the game and players to watch all season long. And Coach, a little thing we're going to do with you, a segment I want to call Puckett's Players, kind of like our all-Madden team. I know where you're going probably with your first one of the season in a physical matchup like this.
Well, you know where I'm going because I coach the big guys, and I got to look at Ethan Pavey. You can't say enough about the big man. He had some that picture in the Newberry News of him down at camp. I love the stance he was in. Another fine young man who's going to get ready to play his third varsity year. He'll be playing on the nose and then on the offensive line also, and he's definitely a key guy to watch.
Breakout player, too, on that offensive and defensive front. Jude Taylor had our bone-crunching hit of the game last week. He's emerged up there. And the lone sophomore, Gabe Hamilton, coming up to join that group. And the man to your left has had a big part in this line coming so far in this offseason.
Absolutely. Very play last week. Coach Minson has them going and ready to go. And
all right, Newberry.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight? For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That's the Newberry News' very own Sterling McGinn celebrating a birthday, leading the color guard across the field today, and just about ready to go in this matchup. 72-42 last week. A lot of good, some not so good for the Indians. They went to work hard in practice this week, but on a short week as a coach. How difficult is it to get your guys to recuperate from that opening game and then quickly turn around and get amped back up for another football game?
It's a bit of a challenge because you have to kick in. Everything comes a day earlier. You don't really get that Monday where you can go through tape and stretch and run through some special teams. You got to get ready and get after it right from Monday on through. So it's a big change.
I think the key to the game tonight is Newberry and Munising. It's got to be last man standing, right?
I think so. last guy with the hit. I expect a very physical game here, Dan. Very disciplined game from both sides. We had some things to clean up from last week. I know Coach Mendoza said that there were some things that he wanted to see done with our pass coverage and some other things, and I hope those things have been cleaned up for this week.
Munising won the toss. They defer to the second half. Indians get the ball. Matthew Rahali, no big deal last week. He started it off with an 80-yard return. He's in the second level with Jacob Mohar as Kennedy Depew deep back. Going to try and move Matthew around to try and catch Munising, trying to hide the ball from him.
I was surprised last week that Brimley continued to throw at him and kick to him. Very surprised.
Short with the bad ankle sprain. I looked at it yesterday. It's ugly. Matthew Rahali tweaked an ankle last week. So did Gabe Hamilton. Jacob Mohar is playing on one ACL. Indians were a little bit banged up after their week 1 contest. Another challenge with a short week.
Absolutely. And these early weeks, it takes a while to toughen those ankles again.
Well, and the field was slick and wet. We had an hour-long weather delay, no problem. Dead calm, clear skies, beautiful here on your Thursday night. Rahali in the gun, gives to Depew. Left side, breaks one tackle, spins off another. That's that pitch rushing. But he was more of a home run hitter who finished tough and physical. But as we said in the pregame, Kennedy Depew, Brian Nelson going to be tough physical backs for the Indians who go no huddle. Give to Depew, big hole up the middle, that inside zone. Depew almost broke it. Nice run by Kennedy Depew. He's down across the 40 to the 38-yard line.
That was a touchdown saving tackle right there by the Mustang safety. Otherwise, Depew's dancing in the end zone.
Nice little wrinkle there for Coach Joe Austin to throw in a little no huddle right
I like
off
to
the
see
bat.
that. I like to see that, Coach.
Rahali in the gun.
They're eagle down, so.
Give Depew inside zone there again. Fights tough, protects that ball. That's one thing the Indians worked on after 4 turnovers last week. Good, secure hold by Kennedy at the point of impact.
And that's a tough run in there with the losing tackles in the A-gap down.
Yeah.
First minute gone here in this contest. It'll be a 2nd and 5. 3 straight carries for Kennedy Depew. And boy, if he can pound inside, that's going to open up the edges.
Run until they stop, that's for sure.
Who knows a thing or two about getting the ball pounded on him. Paramaki, 67 carries last year and an incomplete pass on a drop bubble screen.
Mohar looking downfield a little before he had the ball. He was pretty anxious to get going, and he had some room to run if he could have made the catch.
The toughest thing on that bubble screen is I think guys get overly excited. They know they have the space, and they're thinking about the run before securing the catch.
Absolutely. Generally, it's one guy to beat. It's one-on-one, and receivers like that.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Key conversion point here for the Indians. Got to assume it's 4-down territory at this point, but don't want a mistake here. Depew back up the middle. He got a no gain. Good push there up front by the interior of that Munising defensive line. 72 is going to be a tough matchup for the Indians up front. That's Dimitri Belko, who's played youth hockey with a lot of the Indians players over the years.
He's tall and lean. They're tall and lean in the middle for Munising, and they're still in the A-gap and still playing tough in the middle.
4th down, a long 5 here. Some confusion. Double wing for the Indians with Nelson and Depew. And it's going to be a timeout for Newberry, who did not look settled in there. And the whistle comes with 9:26 to go on this opening drive of the contest. Newberry, a strong start. Got to see if they can get this conversion and sustain that early momentum before giving it back to the Mustangs.
Moving the ball a little bit, hitting it on the ground. Kennedy Depew with some nice runs. And the offensive line getting off the ball pretty well. Anxious to see what Coach comes up with here on about a 4th and 5 down in the Munising zone.
It's a little bit of a different look that Coach Austin's put in, that Rudyard style double bug.
Barbecue is here tonight and every night.
You know how well that worked 2 years ago with Rudyard and the running quarterback Suggett.
Absolutely, we got to see that. And if it works, put it in.
That's right. So out of the timeout, walk the lineup, left side tight end. Double bug, it's heavy with Nelson. Depew. Rahali, he's just going to roll out. Under pressure, back foot, he's hit, up in the air and intercepted. And the Mustangs will turn it back around. Pavey and Taylor make the stop. It's the first interception of the season for Matthew Rahali, who had no running lane. And the backup option on that is to pull up for the pop pass, but good pressure right in his face. He was falling backwards as he let it go.
And it's a little bit tough rolling to his left, being a right-handed quarterback. They don't throw back across. I was kind of surprised they didn't go head to the right, although that was a little bit of the short side of the field.
No big harm done because the interception's probably better than the 10 yards they would have lost on the sack.
Yeah, they're outside.
Mustangs take over their first drive. Back in that famous double wing, Reese Cody gets the carry. He was a beast, one of their top players, and an otherwise disappointing night against the Bulldogs last week.
William Dunbar, a defensive end, tried to come down but didn't wrap up quite the way he wanted. But he was there, and he'll make that tackle next time.
Going to see a rotation up front. Liam Nolette back for the Indians this week. He graduated boot camp last weekend. Worked morning and afternoon to make up his practice time and his conditioning days.
You know, that kid's in shape coming back from boot camp.
Double wing again. The same thing. Cody fakes in, dips back outside. Big hit along the sidelines.
And that's a big hit by Mohar coming from across the field, and he puts a lick on the Mustang runner.
Mohar has not shied away from being physical despite the limitations that he has. Kid taking the mindset of, well, it's just not going to get any worse.
Not sure what the discussion there was. I guess if they had enough for the first down, and the White has decided they did, close enough, and waves them forward.
Cody more of a kind of a bounce around guy rather than Paramacky last year, who was just a straight bull hammer. Now they're going to go the other way. Give and a turn, cut back up the middle.
They run the inside, Sally.
And the Mustangs are off to the races. Going to be close, and it's a touchdown for Munising. Zach Lindquist breaks free.
That's the inside Sally, they used to call it, Dan. He could go inside, could go outside, and that time they blocked it. So he comes inside, and he was gone. We missed a couple tackles early. We were there, but we're just at the point where we have to finish what we're starting defensively.
So
PAT
Mustangs
drive.
get a stop, go up 6-0 here in the battle for the Axe. Snap here, roll out, looking for two, throw to the pylon, incomplete.
Big play for the Indians there, Dan, to deny the PAT. We're going to score. We're going to put points on the board, and those PAT tries are so important.
Early momentum goes to the Mustangs. Indians see a couple of heads hanging. They got to shake that off and bounce back. And Munising, who had nothing go their way last week, strikes big. They know that they could have played much, much better last week, despite the fact that Rudyard's just going to be really good this season. Tough opening stretch for the Mustangs.
Yeah, I watched some of the scrimmage tape with Rudyard. They're a good outfit. They play hard. They're well coached. But I think that shocked the Mustangs a little bit last week, Dan.
You're not going to kick the rally. That was why they did it.
So we move Matty around a little bit to see if we can get the ball into his
Just
hands.
got to find
Now
him
they're
on
going to
every
switch.
play. DeSalt to kick it off.
Yeah, they're watching.
Oh, Mustangs
Yeah, they're watching.
thought about flipping it over. Run up, little squib. Mohar, second level. Will go right side. Mohar has a lane. Gets out to midfield where he's met. Right in front of the Mustang bench.
And I tell you, Dan, if we can have them doing that all night just to avoid Rahali, we'll take that kind of field position on the 50-yard line.
That's right. Great starting spot.
Even though Matty didn't have the ball, he really caused a return to the 50-yard line. Just by trying to avoid them.
All right, Indians come back. They're going to go with the L set here out of the power. Nelson, the tailback. Quarterback keeper. Mustangs wanted a penalty on a false start. That's just a quick grab and draw by Matthew Rahal.
That's a good smart play in the middle, under center. We'll take that. That's 5 easy yards. Coaches love that kind of play. Low risk, high return. $7:40 yet to go, Dan, and a Munising lead, 6-zip. Very important drive here for the Indians.
Have to respond after giving up the early touchdown. Give to DePew around the outside. He's going to be just short of the first down. Ripped down and hammered out of bounds. Carson
Kason Hamilton, one of those Newberry Motors key players that we designated, certainly showed his stuff on that play, Dan. Great block.
Big 3rd and 1 here. Tribe back in the L. They're going to go straight ahead to Nelson. First down.
Brian Nelson, the ball carrier.
They just ran that little trap play inside, a quick hitter like that.
Went right behind 62, Jared Hamilton. He's the sophomore up this year playing center, which allows Pavey to stay in a spot where he can pull and trap. And I tell you what, Hamilton got about 10 yards downfield, straight on the tracks. Give here.
Give to DePew again, the fullback. Nice gain again, Daniel.
Tell you what, like I said, not flashy, but consistent with those guys gaining yards, keep it moving.
Grind it out and run clock. It is. But this is the kind of football that Coach Austin used to coach and loves to see.
Coach Austin, I don't know if he slept in the last week. Extra animated and fired up in practice this week, as he should be. Indians now try to spread it back out. Rahali's going to roll. He's going to look. Nothing there. Jukes behind Pavey, cuts it up, hurdles a guy, and Matty gets a gain of 5, and he's just short of the first down.
Very close, Dan. It looked like we had Mohar open for a second. I think that Rahali felt that maybe he couldn't make that play. I don't know if you could see him. As that sun sets in the west, it comes right over the big pines, as everyone remembers, and probably right in the face of Rahali.
Another 3rd and short conversion here. But Indians staying in a manageable spot. Nelson, he's going to go up the middle. Good cutback. And boy, Gabe Luck was a step away from giving Nelson a bigger lane back to the left, but the Indians moved the chains.
Big Ethan Pavey came across on the trap play and completely pancaked and destroyed the middle. Also, one of those Newberry Motors key players of the game, and he showed it there, Dano.
Under 5 to go as they wind the clock. 1st and 10. One new change timing-wise in high school football this year. On a first down, it's the spot of the ball, not the reset of the chains. Indians will line it up. This time, Rahali pops it out to the flats, juggled and caught Gabe Luck, who moves to that tight end spot.
He just caught that one on toughness, Dan. He was hit almost immediately and didn't really have it, but Gabe was a tough kid, grabbed it and hung on for a nice gain for the Indians.
Moving well inside the red zone. Ball going to be about the 18-yard line. 2nd and 4 coming up. Indians have not had a play of less than 5 yards on this drive, and that'll work every time.
Nothing fancy. Bang, bang, bang. A little pass here and there to loosen them up. I've seen 2 false pulls, which I don't usually see in high school football. So I'm seeing some good things out of this offensive line for sure, as well as hard running from our skills players.
Double bug again. This time they go Mohar to the right. Draw with Rahali. Tries to bounce outside. Mustangs get the push, make the stop.
Munising really shifting down to that double wing. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something coming back the other way here anytime, Dan.
Chess match between 2 of the best. Joe Austin was the E.U.P Coach of the Year in 8-man football last year. Matt Matson was the runner-up in that vote. Matson was the conference Coach of the Year as the Mustangs ran the table, won the league. went to the quarterfinal round. Snap, draw, Rahali. They're keying on him. I tell you what, who's 58 there for the Mustangs? That's Connor Eisenhart. He is just earmarked on a spy on Rahali and is just coming right at him.
Yeah, absolutely. And we missed him that time, and the result shows it. So we're fourth, Dan.
Matt Paramaki is the defensive coordinator still for the Mustangs. Had a couple of conversations with him late in the season last year, especially after that playoff game. And then the Mustangs came to a couple of 7-on-7s this summer. You know, he's been keyed on Rahal. Big fourth down. Matty looks quick and too high. He threw out. Receiver came in. And another drive with promise stalls out for the Indians.
So Munising will take over on downs, Dan, and the Newberry defense. Let's see if we can pull our tackling up a little bit here. We're in the right spot, and we're making initial contact, but we're not finishing as well as we'd like to, that's for sure. Because Munising hasn't done anything fancy. They do what they do. They line up and say, we're going to run it here, and they do.
Mustangs break out. They're going to go double wing. Quarterback in the gun. That's Nelson. He'll hand it off. Reese Cody gets the corner. Another diving stop short, and Rahali on the backside flattens it there.
Good pursuit that time by the Indians, Dan. Good pursuit.
They had those guys help funneling from the middle that we didn't have last time when we missed that tackle out on the edge.
Yeah. Depew came all the way from the backside corner position and came up and put a lick on him.
Outside.
2nd and 9. Give here. Things timing all off for the Mustangs, and a tackle in the backfield is the all-E.U.P dream teamer from a year ago, Gabe Luck.
He's back at his
boy, now you get Nolet, who had 5 sacks and 12 tackles for loss last year. There might not be a better DN combo that you're going to find anywhere.
That with Big Pavey in the middle, along with Case and Hamilton, makes a pretty tough defensive front.
Give here.
Keeper.
Will draw. Nice second block. Mustangs get to the second level again. Juke and a cutback. And the big play is benefiting the Mustangs here early in this contest.
We're allowing ourselves to get blocked a little bit there, Dan. The Mustangs getting off the ball and getting us turned. And a nice gain for the Mustangs.
One thing I've noticed is not everything is as it seems with the Mustangs. They'll start outside, bounce it back inside. They do a little shoulder dip, like they're going to cut it up inside and then bounce it back outside. They're creating space for themselves. Now they go sweep out of the double wing. This one, that's quickness there through the middle. Andrew Kane. And one thing you know about the Mustangs, last year it was one man, get on my back, let's go. This year it's my committee, and they got 4 or 5 that we think can take the ball early in this one.
It is, and 2 plays in the row, they've handled us up front. Let's see how Gabe Luck responds this time.
They'll come same thing, opposite way, huge hole in the middle. Cody gets ahead of steam. He's out across the 30 to the 29-yard line.
That's that inside sally again. They're blocking out on Gabe Luck and running inside. They seal our linebacker, and they're having success with that. I don't expect to see anything different until we stop it.
See if Munising takes one more. They're going to go to the quarter as Steve Wilson, the white hat tonight, waves everybody back, and that'll be the end of the first quarter here in Newberry, with the Mustangs on top 6-0 and driving again. It's M123 FM, the E.U.P Sports Network, streaming to your big screen on YouTube with the Newberry News.
The Lewis County Veteran Services Office proudly advocates for our area veterans. Local Veteran Services Officer Rick Menard is ready to serve you. For all your veteran service needs, including claims, medical information, benefit coverage, and more, contact Rick Menard in the Lewis County Veteran Services Office at 293-4890. The Lewis County Veteran Services Office, proud supporters of our community. The Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis is your award-winning Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Can-Am dealer. From the water to the trails, don't take your next trip without visiting the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis. From sales and service to rentals and accessories, the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis has everything you need for your next great adventure. The Fish and Hunt Shop on Main Street in Curtis or online at fishandhuntshop.com.
Are you tired of squinting and straining to see the world around you? Dr. Derek Dake and the team at Northern Lights Vision Center in Newberry is committed to bringing the beauty of clear vision back into your life. Whether you're in need of new eyeglasses or contact lenses, Northern Lights Vision Center has many choices to choose from. Say goodbye to blurry vision and hello to a world of clarity and color. Your journey to a clearer vision starts with a simple call by calling 906-291-2015 to set up an appointment. Let Northern Lights Vision Center light up your world.
Dan Hardebrook, the coach, Jeff Puckett ready to go. Second quarter, Mustangs on top 6-0 and driving.
There he goes.
Back in that double wing. Same thing we've seen. And, Coach, you said this during the quarter break. Hey, man, they're just going to keep running this until we figure out something to do up front to at least make them think about doing something different.
I agree, and I think Coach Mendoza is going to start to play some games out there with the end and linebacker. That's what I would do, and force Munising to look at something else so we can take that away.
2nd down and 6. Ball sits at about the 27-yard line. Cody bounces it back outside, cuts it back inside. You know, for a big, physical kind of back, keeps the feet moving.
He does, and he was trying to run that inside, Sally, but guess who was standing there? Big number 76 with arms extended, and he had to bounce it outside, and the pursuit caught up with him.
It's like when you're out hiking in the North Country and they take the wrong left and there's big old giant.
And you run into him, he looks just like that, I think, only a little smaller.
Yeah, I'd take Pavey over the Grizzly Bear.
My money's on Big Pavey.
3rd and 3. Big one here.
Takes the jet
Take
sweep.
it. Now try to keep
there's
it.
a big hit then.
Oh, great way to shed the block.
There's Liam Nolet getting caught back up with what's going on. Brings up 4th down, Dano. 4th down, baby.
It's not 4th. It's going to be just the shy. The ball length past the 25-yard line. This would be a big lift for the Indians, who have had a record-setting offense over the past couple of seasons, but they just finished their 5th straight quarter without a point against the Mustangs.
And they just brought Big Pavey in, shut down the inside Sally. That forced Munising to do something different, and there we were.
The Munising is going to take their time here. Matt Matson's out talking to Steve Wilson. He's going to run the play clock all the way down. Takes a timeout. Little chess match between 2 of the longest tenured and top guys to do it.
Coach Matson's going to talk about it here. Is that 2 timeouts still for both teams, Daniel?
Yeah, well, I think Steve Wilson was just relaying to the booth.
Okay. Tommy says, our announcer, it was their 2nd timeout. We'll see.
I think you're right. We took the one early when we had some trouble lining up.
Yeah.
Thursday night to kick off the holiday weekend, Engadines over in Cedarville, or over in Detour, taking on Cedarville Detour. The Back Out Bowls, those 2 teams have left the conference to go start their own journey. Cedarville, an impressive win last week. Engadine showed flashes in the loss to Rapid River. Superior Central's in Pickford tonight, just trying to survive the week.
I was disappointed that Newberry wasn't going to play Engadine this year, but I do understand exactly what Coach Posnick is trying to do.
And then got this one here tonight.
4th down.
4th down. Key play here early in this contest.
Here come the linebackers.
Little boot. Good pressure. Flat pass wide open. It's caught. Carson Keenitz, who's the basketball sensation for that state championship team. Just a little drag pass.
We gambled a little bit. We brought everybody inside. That put our guys on an island, and the island got a little bit smaller than we wanted, and they complete the pass for the 1st down.
Munising has just been able to convert the key spots.
Let's see if the Newberry defense stiffens here, Dan.
You wonder with the Indians getting beat on the deep pass so much last week if they overcommitted. Drive there, stop inside. Matthew Rahali slows down Lindquist.
Rahali and Hamilton there. Hamilton's starting to catch on a little bit with that play.
Mid-Penn is at Brimley. Rapid River at Rudyard for the Friday night games tomorrow. Two schools got to play because there just aren't enough officials to go around. Munising Manistee also in action tonight. They're up to take on Ishpeming. Will join the 8-man ranks next year. How about that?
That is something. It's a changing culture.
Give here. Weaving run again. Lindquist down to the 10.
Gabe Luck came down hard that time from his defensive end position. Was right in the right spot, but almost kind of put his head down and allowed himself to get blocked. If he can get his head up, he can shut that plate off.
You're seeing what these two offenses are doing. There's a lot of third and short. Just chewing up small plays and then doing what you have to do. The difference is Munising's been the better on the fourth downs, offensively and defensively.
They have been. But here we go with that double wing formation again, Dano. Nothing fancy, I bet here.
He'll double fake. Roll out to throw. Luck with the quarterback sack.
Gabe Luck played it right that time, Dano.
Love's just pinning his ears back and going. He's kind of been the vocal leader at practice this week.
Well, he certainly showed it there.
He said the Newberry seniors have only lost 7 games in their entire high school career, and 4 of them have been to Munising. I think he's tired of hearing about the Mustangs.
You know that and sit somewhere in your belly or even lower, Dano. That you carry that to bed with you at night.
Maddie's got to be locked up with this guy on this side.
Shotgun trips to the right.
Blood pass right. Quarterback decides to run.
Oh,
baby on his back.
Him up.
Somebody threw him a piano, and that piano was Pavey right on his back, and that was all the running he was going to do.
That's a great job by Pavey to just break down. Knew he had help coming. Indians get a fourth down stop and take the ball back. Nice little answer there early in the second. Well, not early. 6:59 to go. Munising chewing a lot of clock.
Let's see if we can get a consistent drive here, Dano, and get back into this score.
Wrong starts, but the momentum has faded. Indians go twins to the right. Heavy set with the back that way. And they're just trying to pull some defenders out of the way for Nelson.
The ball carrier gain of 1. 2nd and 9 for the Indians.
Depew, rather, my fault.
Take a play off.
Yeah, I know.
You kick him at halftime. Chew his ass.
I'll get on him.
6:35.
We got to get the offensive line getting off the ball a little bit better here, Dan. We're a little bit lackadaisical for my taste on that play. Let's get off the ball and get after it here.
Now, same formation. 2 guys wide. Fake the draw. No, go draw. Up the middle. Another big stop
back
up front.
with the same
Dimitri
play down.
Belko has been a force early on for the Mustangs inside.
Coach came back to that same play. A little bit of a gain there. But brings up 3rd down and about 6. Maybe 7 down.
Under 6 to go. We are midway through this second quarter with the Mustangs on top 6-0. Indians will go spread. Empty. Switch with the slots up and the wide receivers wide. Rahali sidearms it. Jump ball caught. The football god shined down on Newberry football. I don't know if there's anybody else that can make that play.
Just how they drew it up, Dano, I guess. Big Pave missed the block.
Looked like he's skipping rocks on the pond.
It was. Big Pavey missed the block, and it looks like Matty was skipping rocks out at Rahali Cottage and zinged it.
The submarine. He throws that baseball, too, but it's...
And Depew was able to run under it for a first down. No one's going to remember how it was done, just that it was done, Dano.
And Carson Keenitz is shaking his head. He came to a complete stop thinking he was going to pick that ball off.
Absolutely.
Back in the L. Fake the draw. No, they go there. Good sell of the fake. And boy, DePew had the corner, but Nelson tripped up on a gain of about 1. 4:40 to go.
Munising playing tough. Switching up a little bit.
Can tell you this right now, we are not going to see 130-some points in this one here tonight.
Not tonight. Big Balco, who was in the middle for Munising, is out. And the Indians come to the line. Hamilton over the ball.
Now they come with the R set. DePew plunges forward. He's a nose shy of the 45 on the Munising side. Another key third down.
Running hard right behind Big Hamilton again, and he moves some ground that time. Keeps his feet moving. Credit to Coach Smithson. I know that's the way I coach it, and that's the way he coaches it. Boy, it's noticeable right there. And hard running by DePew. 3:45 to go, Dano.
We're right above them here. 46-yard line. Indians will need the 40.
Yeah, we should.
3.5 to go. Raholly, straight drop, looks, has time, sets, fires, deep, through the hands of DePew. It's incomplete.
Wow. Chance for the big play, and what a great block that time by Nelson. Picked up the blitzing linebacker, stepped in front of him, and Raholly hanging in the pocket makes a pretty good throw. But that's a tough over-the-shoulder catch, even for an athlete like DePew.
Interesting here. 4th down. Raholly's on the sideline. Indians are going to have Hamilton punted away here from the 46.
All right.
27 to go.
Coach playing field position, maybe.
Low snap. Hamilton, the boot.
Good catch.
High, end over
Get down
end.
there.
Fielded.
Boom.
Free game. Good coverage by Luck. Makes the stop. 16-yard line and a new set of downs for the Mustangs as the Indians do indeed punt it away.
So the defense has to step up here. Coach playing a little bit of field position. It's just a 6-0 game right now, Dan. No need to panic. No need to do anything crazy. That's for sure. And Gabe Luck had great coverage on the punt.
Boy, that was a risky move to not signal a fair catch or bail on that thing.
Great timing by Luck. That's not easy to do for anyone, but his athletic ability continues to show.
Mustangs will line it up here. They'll go gun, double wing. It's Cody, right side. Finds that little seam just to the edge. Gets met there.
The big mid of Peavy slowed him down a little bit, but Mahar comes in and mops it up, but it was still a 5-yard gain on that play, Dano.
That's team tackling. It's one thing I've been stressing with the young kids in practice is you just got to get a wrap on somebody.
Help's coming.
It helps coming.
Don't let go. We used to coach that daily. $2.50 left to go. 6-zip Munising.
Munising.
Luck inside.
Pull everybody.
Shuts that down and forces
there. Luck there. Hamilton there.
Forces them outside to the waiting hands of Raholly.
They went double bunch to the right and then pulled everybody back to the left. And that's just a traffic jam.
That's what that was.
We have 2.
And Big Pavey was there to jam it up. The bulldozer came in and they couldn't move the big man that time.
This is a big one for the Indians. They do have 2 timeouts left. They can get a stop here and get the ball back and preserve some time. They're going to get wide with their defensive line. Cody going to sweep. Cuts it back up. Spin move. And it's going to be enough for a first down, I do believe.
Mohar and Luck.
Rod Priscorn will eyeball it, and he'll say first down.
He says good enough.
So now the Mustangs extend another drive. And with under 2 to go here, they don't need to be in any sense of urgency. They get the football back.
What's that?
We need to stop here, Dano. We need to.
We've only had 3 possessions in this entire first half.
Yeah. I know Coach is going to be addressing that for sure.
They'll fake the give. Go quarterback draw. Indians are all over it. Tell you what, Pavey was challenged in practice this week. The big fellow only had a couple of tackles defensively last week. Was more of a guy who was eating up space and not making an impact on the game, but he has been everywhere.
He's starting to move a little bit better here, as well as Hamilton when he's in.
Trips to the near side.
Jam that center guy.
Tackle is eligible. They try to go draw. Luck sheds it, makes the stop. Another good play by.
Well, that keeps the clock running.
3rd and 10. Joe Austin talking it over with Rudy Mendoza. Zach Klinkner, Ben Rahali on the sidelines. Joe Smithson up here, and the Indians call timeout.
Timeout, Newberry.
Well, it looks like Coach Austin called timeout, hoping that they can stop them on this play and see if he can force them to punt somehow. But unless they throw, the clock's going to continue to run.
We'll have one more.
We have one left.
Leave them empty-handed for the offensive drive at the end late.
But we'll see. We have to stop.
That's the first part.
Let's do that first, and then we'll see if this was a good move or not.
It's going to be 3rd and 10. All at the line of scrimmage here, coming up at the half. Here are the weekly messages from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Second week of the high school football season. It's kind of the rolling openers here. We had high school last week, college underway this week, the NFL.
That's right. The Super Bowl bound Lions will play.
Anticipated Lions game in franchise history coming up.
Well, we'll see. A lot of talking's done, but we'll see.
Here we go. Big 3rd down. Mustangs sit and fire. They run one man deep. It's DeSalt. Leaps. Drop
That's
it.
going to be interference.
Pass interference call late. Indians had 4 of them on them last week. Mohar.
He got behind him. He got behind Mohar.
Got him beat, juggled it. Mohar kind of falls into his legs.
Yeah, it was. Mohar got beat a little bit there. He needed to turn and at least see the ball. But it does stop a touchdown.
Coach Rahali was trying to talk to the DBs about last week is let's face guard, and with our athleticism, try to see the ball and make a play on it.
Turn around and make a play.
First down. Mustangs get a gift. They'll draw. Now they'll dump it off short. Bobbled. Caught. And Munising does have time
in the clock.
Own, but I think
run.
They're going to just hurry up here, but won't be too greedy.
That D-line should pin their earbacks, and here we go. Come on, Kate.
What do I know? Millette rolls him out. Throw. Deep. Jump ball. DeSalt. Double covered.
No interference there.
Mohar there.
So the clock stops, Dan. 15.4 to go.
4.
Good pressure by the Indian line.
Nobody gets behind him.
Well, it turns out maybe the timeout wasn't the best way to go.
Like I said, it's a 2-part process, and we haven't been able to get part 1.
But Mohar's penalty did save, I think, a touchdown.
I think you're
and
right.
We're still playing defense.
If that ball's caught,
that's right.
DeSalt's still running. Empty again. Receiver goes early, no call. Draw, ran into his own man. Keeping it. Mohar tries to close down. Out of bounds. Smart little move by Nelson, who gets some time for one, maybe another play.
This receiver wide on this side clearly went early. I'm not sure what the official on this side saw, or really the white hat, but that should have been called, Daniel. Munising got away with one there.
This is the old track stance.
It was. That was a
box.
double shift.
I'm coming down.
Getting Piggy's ear.
Empty again here. Indians will drop 4 into coverage. It's mano a mano up front. Drop. Pressure.
Great play.
It's a fumble.
That was a fumble, and Baby Scoop, he was going to stumble and bumble. But the White Hat Bulls it dead.
They're going to roll him down. Steve
They're
Wilson
going to roll him down.
Signal. Fumble from where we're at.
From up here, it sure looked like a fumble, but that's going to be the end.
That's the end of the first half.
Munising continues to lock up Newberry. 6 straight quarters without a point for the Tribe and their matchups with the Mustangs. But this is kind of what we thought it would be. A knockdown, drag-out fight between 2 of the top teams in the 8-man program.
That sure is what we've seen so far, Dale.
We will step aside here at the half, come back with more in the 2023 battle for the Apps with M123 FM, the E.U.P Sports Network, and the Newberry News on YouTube.
A change allows for Michigan schools to play teams from around the country, and the MHSAA record book sees more names and new marks added. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. The list of teams Michigan schools are now allowed to play against has grown tremendously. With a rule change adopted by the MHSAA's Representative Council, Michigan schools can now play against any school in the country, provided opponents are members in good standing of their state association, and the game is played either in Michigan or in a border state. Previously, schools could only play schools from border states, but now they can play anyone as long as that game is within the border state.
This change to the competition rule will keep our kids on equal footing with what's allowed in other Big Ten states. The time has come for our kids to be able to play schools from around the country, but it needs to be in Michigan or a border state in keeping the right perspective.
That was Mark Ewell, the executive director of the MHSAA. One example of this policy change happens this week. In football, Cass Tech is playing Montvale St. Joseph, a team from New Jersey. And that game is being played at Youngstown State University in Ohio, a border state. And we expect to see more games like this as the volleyball season ramps up and then into winter with both basketball and wrestling. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the last week. First, Jacob Stone scored twice for Fraser in a 2-1 win over Rochester. The 2 goals make him the school's all-time leading scorer on the soccer field. Jacob now has 42 career goals. Alex Thole of East Grand Rapids was the fastest at the 2023 Under the Lights cross-country invite. He turned in a time of 15 minutes 40 seconds, which is a personal record. And Belleville's Bryce Underwood, who started the football season off with a bang. He threw the game-winning touchdown with 7 seconds left in a 35-28 win over River Rouge at the Zenith Prep Kickoff Classic.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Director of Officiating Services, Sam Davis.
Last week, we highlighted some major differences between high school football and the college and pros. This week, how about some of the things that are similar? New as of last year is the addition of a tackle box when judging intentional grounding. In high school, like college and pros, the quarterback must be outside the tackle box and throw it past the line of scrimmage for it to not be intentional grounding. Horse collar tackles are penalties at all 3 levels of play. The ball carrier must be pulled down backwards or to one side for there to be a foul. But if there is, it's 15 yards. And a receiver in high school level needs to have a body part down in bounds, the same as in college. But the NFL requires 2 feet in for a catch.
Thanks, Sam. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. For each sport the MHSAA sponsors, there is an online record book. At the end of each season, Communications Director Jeff Kimmerly updates every sport. Recently, updates from 11-player football were entered, including Ottawa Lake Whiteford putting up the 15th most points in a season with 664 total points last year. West Bloomfield's Samaj Morgan goes in for returning an interception 100 yards for a touchdown. That ties the all-time record for the longest INT return. And Muskegon's Mackay Guy ran for 6 touchdowns in a playoff win over DeWitt last year. Only 15 players in the MHSAA's history have run for more in a single game. And Guy returns for another season and more opportunities to improve on that. To see the complete list of individual, team, championship game, and coaching records for 11-player and 8-player football, go to MHSAA.com and click Football. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross. We'll see you next week.
The Lewis County Veteran Services Office proudly advocates for our area veterans. Local Veteran Services Officer Rick Menard is ready to serve you. For all your veteran service needs, including claims, medical information, benefit coverage, and more, contact Rick Menard in the Lewis County Veteran Services Office at 293-4890. The Lewis County Veteran Services Office, proud supporters of our community. The Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis is your award-winning Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Can-Am dealer. From the water to the trails, don't take your next trip without visiting the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis. From sales and service to rentals and accessories, the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis has everything you need for your next great adventure. The Fish and Hunt Shop on Main Street in Curtis or online at fishandhuntshop.com.
Are you tired of squinting and straining to see the world around you? Dr. Derek Dake and the team at Northern Lights Vision Center in Newberry is committed to bringing the beauty of clear vision back into your life. Whether you're in need of new eyeglasses or contact lenses, Northern Lights Vision Center has many choices to choose from. Say goodbye to blurry vision and hello to a world of clarity and color. Your journey to a clearer vision starts with a simple call by calling 906-291-2015 to set up an appointment. Let Northern Lights Vision Center light up your world. If you're looking for a furry friend to help brighten your days, then look no further than the Lewis County Animal Shelter. They have many lovable pets, just waiting to find their forever homes. From playful pups and cuddly kittens, to gentle dogs and cats looking for a quiet place to call home, the Lewis County Animal Shelter has the perfect companion for you. Visit the Lewis County Animal Shelter today and let's create heartwarming memories together. Because when you adopt, you're not just finding a pet, you're finding a lifelong friend.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Stoynoff, and I want to welcome you to the Northern Star Chiropractic in Newberry. As the area's leading chiropractor with nearly 2 decades of experience, I'll get you straightened out and back in the game in no time at all. Nobody has a passion for your care like Northern Star Chiropractic. Come see and feel what we can do for you today. 906-291-2300, Northern Star Chiropractic, downtown Newberry.
Dan Hardebrook back here at the half, the coach Jeff Puckett, as the battle for the Axe is another slugfest between Munising and Newberry, 6-0 as we hit the break. And coach, what are some of the big standouts there from the first half of play, and what's the message inside the Newberry locker room at this point where they're down at the half in another low-scoring battle?
Well, I think it's nothing to panic with. We're playing hard. We're coming out. We're executing. We got to get a little bit better on third down. We got to convert a little bit more. I think we got to block a little bit tougher in the middle, hold those blocks for another count or two. Munising playing tough, no surprises from what they're going to do, Dan. And defensively, I thought that we made some good adjustments there along our defensive line to start to shut that down a little bit. So I think the message has to be to stay positive, keep playing hard. And in fact, we got to be a little bit tougher in the middle and keep doing what we're doing. Keep the ball out of their hands if we can with a sustained drive. That's where it's getting us a little bit.
The Indians, 6 straight quarters. If you go back to that playoff game a year ago, and I think one of the things you're seeing offensively is that I don't have the official numbers right in front of me, but this thing's probably pretty close to even in terms of yards. It's the big plays for Newberry have been those 7-8 yard runs on first and second downs. Those same plays for Munising are coming on third and fourth down. They're sustaining drives, and they got the big play of the game for the touchdown.
They did. They're pulling first downs, and we're not a little bit. But it's just a matter of continuing trying to execute, do what we do. I don't think there's any reason to panic and come out and continue to play hard, and I think we're going to be okay. What a slugfest, though. We knew it was going to be physical, and it has been all over the place. Depew running hard, Dan. It's really been a difference.
That's got to be a big part of the second half as well. Munising will get the ball to start out this second half. They'll lead at 6-0. We'll step aside. Third quarter coming up from Newberry, where the Mustangs lead at 6-0 with that 123 FM. The E.U.P Sports Network.
The things that we do as well as any place you could get it done.
Dr. Benjamin Bryant is proud of the surgery performed at Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and reminds you, if you've put off some procedures because of COVID, chances are the surgery team at Helen Newberry Joy can perform it right here close to home.
We have a very experienced team. I think that our outcomes speak for us in terms of the job that gets done.
The list of procedures available just minutes from home at Helen Newberry Joy is impressive.
Gallbladder surgery is very, very common. We fix hernias. We put ports in. We remove all sorts of other lesions. We do vasectomies here. I don't think the public really knows that.
So if you've been putting off a procedure, it's only a quick phone call away.
I recommend that if they have a primary care doctor, they keep that doctor in the loop. But all they have to do is either call their doctor's office or call my office and ask to be scheduled, and they get scheduled.
Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center. Your health, our passion.
It's a huge inventory reduction sale at Newberry Motors. Get a 2014 Chevy Silverado Crew 4x4 with 152,000 miles for only $19,995 or best offer. With over $2 million in pre-owned late model inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs that gotta go. It's a huge inventory reduction sale happening now at Newberry Motors, your locally owned family-run dealer. Call 906-293-5104 or find us on South M123 in Newberry.
If you're looking for a furry friend to help brighten your days, then look no further than the Luce County Animal Shelter. They have many lovable pets, just waiting to find their forever homes. From playful pups and cuddly kittens to gentle dogs and cats looking for a quiet place to call home, the Luce County Animal Shelter has the perfect companion for you. Visit the Luce County Animal Shelter today and let's create heartwarming memories together. Because when you adopt, you're not just finding a pet, you're finding a lifelong friend.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Stoynoff, and I want to welcome you to the Northern Star Chiropractic in Newberry. As the area's leading chiropractor with nearly 2 decades of experience, I'll get you straightened out and back in the game in no time at all. Nobody has a passion for your care like Northern Star Chiropractic. Come see and feel what we can do for you today. 906-291-2300, Northern Star Chiropractic, downtown Newberry.
Back here in Newberry, Dan Hardwood and Coach Jeff Puckett lights are on. And nobody in Newberry home because they're all here. Big crowd filing in.
Got a nice crowd. Nice to see the lights come on. There's nothing like it.
We'll be on the road for the next 2 weeks. They'll go to Rudyard for a Friday night contest. That'll be a big one. Talked about early on in the season.
Huge.
It's going to have some playoff implications, some conference standings going to be on the line there. And then week 4 was the original spot with Cedarville. Of course, they pull out. Now the Indians go all the way to Ironwood for a Friday night game.
Ironwood it's not at the end of the earth, Dan, but you can see it at the end of the earth from there.
Yeah, if you take a left instead of a right.
It's there.
Indians will boot it off. Second half kick return brought first right to left. Oh! Gabe Hamilton, bone cruncher, put it down.
But Andrew
on
Kane.
The second half kickoff from Dr. Bryan and Newberry Star Chiropractic.
So that's a pretty good start right there to show the physicalness of this game, Dano. And Newberry's going to take over.
The Andrew Kane might not try that one again.
Defensively, here we go.
Part of him still sprawled out at about the 31-yard line, ball at the 30.
Hopefully we can end this drive quick.
Munising comes double wing, right hash. Nelson in the gun. Give here to Lundquist. Nice stop inside, right at the line of scrimmage for Gabe Luck, who's gone into man mode here in this football game.
He has. He's having a night getting off the ball, playing physical, firing up guys out on the defense, getting people in the right spot, doing all the things that he should be doing as a senior, that's for sure.
Same formation. Indians come with a 32. A couple backers rolled up. Cody, the workhorse for the Mustangs. He's chopped down by Hamilton, who looks much more comfortable. A little bit of nerves maybe last week for him as the lone sophomore called up this year.
The big man moves well, Dano. He's been all over the place. Defensively and offensively, we've been running behind them all night.
Third down conversion. This is big. Mustangs are probably in the 80 to 90% range so far in this contest. They'll stay double wing. Cody will take the sweep right side. Slowed down. Help comes. He's short of the first down by a couple. And we'll see what Coach Matt Matson decides to do out of the gates here.
I'm sure if you look at the analytics all the time, Dan, they're going to tell him to go here. But we'll see what Coach Matson does. A smart coach, been doing it a long time. He knows the score, and he knows these teams.
We got two guys that I don't think know or use or care a whole lot about
the analytics.
Here we go. Here, give, right side, good push, but the spin, and just that little turn gave Lundquist enough momentum to get the first down.
Not a horrible set of downs there for the Indians, Dan, but we just couldn't finish. We're just this little bit away, and we've got to match that up and fix that up right now.
Indians going to flip their defense here. Snap, give. Lindquist turns it back up the middle, weeds outside. Good read by Mohar and Depew to team up on that stop. But again, well, it's a gain of 3. They didn't give them the forward progress.
Not a bad stop, but
you like to meet him a yard or two sooner there.
But you've got your secondary making tackles there. Don't be surprised to see them come back to that flood pass or some kind of a boot look.
Ball right below us here, 44-yard line, Mustang side. They're going to come Cody. Indians blow it up. Raholly hangs on and drags him down.
Time.
Good. And
Gabe Luck
and
Pavey came in, and Matty Raholly came in and mopped it up.
Indians must have picked up on something there, Coach, because Raholly I know Luck's flipping and playing wide side of the field here, but Raholly keeps shifting around pre-snap.
And Hamilton's picking it up in the middle a little bit,
too. They might just want Raholly far side, too, as a backer.
3rd and 9.
There's
Here they come on that power sweep. Nothing doing a Gabe Luck. Not this side of the field, he says. You might want to run it over there, but not over here in my face. Big play by Gabe Luck. Brings up a 4th and 10 Let's see what kind of courage Coach Metzen has for this play.
Well, I can tell you the only thing that's gone really wrong for the Mustangs is when they run that double bug and try to bring everybody back opposite side. The Indians are just blowing them off the ball on that lineup.
It's slow development. They're in the punt formation.
Punt here, end over end. They kick it to the sideline. Checks up. It hits Depew. And the Mustangs get the ball. Kennedy Depew had no idea it was there. And the Indians let one get away.
Well, the defense has to get back on the field. That's a misstep, and Depew didn't want to touch it. I hope those guys are yelling, fire, fire, trying to get him away. But he got mixed up trying to throw a block. It bounced off his leg, and Munising jumped on it.
Kicked it short. Rahali looks to the sideline and pats his chest. I think he thought that was going out of bounds. And Depew, who was set up for his block. Damn. Third special teams turnover in the first 2 weeks for the Indians. Munising gets a break. Indians finally get a stop. But the punt off the legs of Depew. Quick pass, open to Salt. Sideline. Mohar saves a touchdown for now.
And there's that pass.
Mustangs are knocking on the door.
That pass we talked about a minute ago, Dan, when our secondary starts making too many tackles up front. That's what we're going to see. Tough break on the punt for the Indians, but we've got to respond here.
Wind out of the sails. Everything has gone the Indians' way last year, except for when they played the Mustangs. And they're going to get a little gut check here in the second half. Double wing. Give to Cody around the corner. Gets stretched out. Good job, Mohar. Hamilton in to finish the job. Brian Nelson in on that play as well.
Defensively pursuing well again to shut that play down. Second and goal from the 3, Dano. 7:01 to play left in the third as the Mustangs continue to lead 6-0. But in the red zone.
We're inside.
Mustangs line it up here. They're just going to try to keep it around, and Hamilton
Hamilton comes in.
They were looking for that little pop pass into the back corner.
And he jumped that A-gap and slid through. The big man ballet danced his way in.
Nelson for the Mustangs, a little gimpy back to the sideline to talk to Coach Matson. The Indians have a shot to get out of this, Coach.
Yes, they do. That was a huge play to back him up 5 more yards by the sophomore Hamilton.
Inside. Never mind. I power.
First look at the power eye for the Mustangs here in this one.
Just off tackles.
Behind his man. Fourth and goal.
It's a fourth down.
This is probably the play of the game to this point.
This sure could be.
Midway through the third. Munising, man, they just keep, it seems like they have the ball for 20 minutes at a time. You just look up and all of a sudden we haven't touched it and half of the third quarter is over. We've had 3 drives all night. And now on a key fourth down, your top defensive players coming off the field.
Dunbar back in.
High formation.
As Luck is out. Keeper.
They go.
Tried the option. Not there. Dunbar caught inside.
Dancing. Dives. He's short. The Indians get short.
He's short, Dano.
Oh, he did. No.
That is just guts by the Indians there, Dano.
Right foot came out of bounds on the dive, and the Indians will take over inside their own 2.
Because they had it shut down to the left. And
Munising hang on.
Headed back to the right. What a play. And that could have been the play of the game, Dano.
Now, got to be clean here at the start. Get yourself some breathing room.
Tyler Nelson goes out after that hit. He's going to get a breather and get himself healed up.
He's holding the ribs now.
He is.
The knee early in the drive. Indians will line it up.
Oh, gosh. Should be there big time.
Rahali in the gun. He's going to go straight forward. Brought down. He lost a yard. Matthew Rahali, 500 all-purpose yards plus last week. And Munising continues to key on him. When he takes the ball and tries to do anything with it, there are multiple guys coming for him.
Absolutely, Dano, and he's going to see that the rest of this season. That's for sure. 4:53 left in the third, Dan.
Indians tighten it up. Give here, Nelson. He's out to about the 5, maybe the 6.
Gets us out of trouble a little bit, but I really would like to see our Indians hold their blocks for another count, maybe 2.
Tough to go with a lot of your offense, half of it from the gun when you're at your own 1.
That's for sure.
Against the defense this tough, you're putting yourself at risk of the safety, and not a whole lot you can do moving out on the edges. Ball is
up third down. You hate to punt from your end zone, that's for sure.
Ball is at the 4-yard line. Rahali, straight drop, quick slant. Mohar's there, has the catch, fights. We'll see where they spot him. It's going to be close.
Now we got a right-footed spot.
Oh,
it wasn't out.
Steve Wilson has a better view than I do.
He called it close enough, and we'll take it, Dan.
Contrary to popular belief, good call, Ref.
Well, not a popular call over in the Munising faithful, but the Indians are going to take it.
Some people think that I don't like referees. I love them.
Absolutely. Can't play this game without them.
Indians line it up, try to go off tackle. Straight ahead.
Direct snap that time.
The men who invented this game are smiling down watching this one here tonight.
This is the way it should be, Dano. That's for sure. This kind of a battle. 3:09 and ticking here in the third quarter. Munising up 6-zip.
I was going to say, but can you run Izzy and
Munising only puts 2 down linemen. Stand up their defensive end to the far side. Give here, straight forward. Nelson keeps going, crawls over the pile, and Brian Nelson turns nothing into a gain of 3. Just on pure will. You coached his old man back in the day. He was a tough one.
Absolutely. That's for sure. I did back
like
in the day.
It is watching the same guy run football.
It is. So we're another big third down from the Indians deep in their own territory, Dano. Another huge play to try and sustain this drive and get some points on the board here.
Rahali,
keeper.
With some room. Good block to Pugh. Matty has the sideline. Keeps going. He's ran out of bounds. But the biggest play of the night for the Indians and a great seal on the edge by Kennedy Depew.
What a smart block by Depew. He kind of kicked the leg. He kind of opened the door for the defensive player and then walled him in right at the last second. Raleigh, of course, read the block perfectly, gets down the sideline before he's forced out of bounds. Big first down.
Rahali looked like an animal escaping his cage there. Oh, Nelson, disaster averted. Rahali picks it up in his sack. Nelson knocked the, I don't know, was it the fake or Nelson just ran into Rahali. They lose the ball. Matty picks it up but gets brought down. And from good to bad for the Indians in a hurry.
Going to make it second and about 17 now, Daniel. That's should be an interesting play call here for the Indians. Minute to go left in the third.
Timing, man. Got to be so precise. Indians in a big play here. They'll go a guy spread each way. Rahali, snap. Line was late getting off, and it's too far in front of Depew. Incomplete. The Indians just can't find their rhythm on the offensive end.
Going to bring up 3rd down and long. And that thins out the playbook for you a little bit, Daniel.
Yeah, not a whole lot you can do here. I mean, this might be a one where you try to get half of it back, maybe 3/4 of it back, get it up to the 50.
See what you can then make a decision there if you can go for it or not.
It's only still a 1-score game. We haven't let the Mustangs get away from us. This only the 4th drive of the night for the Indians and the final seconds of the 3rd quarter. Snap. Rahali has time. Underneath to Luck. Luck, stiff arm, fights up the sideline.
Boy, he's going to be close.
First down, Indians.
First down, Dano. What a play. Rahali to Luck, and Luck tucked his way for a first down.
That is exactly what they were doing, trying to get as much of it as you can, and Gabe Luck would not be denied. First down, ball to the 47. They needed 17, they get 20. Now from the bottom of the star and stripe end. Full spread, 4 wide. Rahali fakes bubble, takes draw, has a little bit of room out to the 40 for Matthew Rahali, and a 2nd and short coming up.
I like that play, Rahali, with a nice fake, a shoulder twist, and then dives into the middle of that line for a nice gain. But that's going to bring the quarter up, Daniel.
Happy about something. And that is going to end this 3rd quarter. 12 minutes to play at least in the 2023 version of the battle for the Axe. Mustangs on top, 6-0.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Stoynoff, and I want to welcome you to the Northern Star Chiropractic in Newberry. As the area's leading chiropractor with nearly 2 decades of experience, I'll get you straightened out and back in the game in no time at all. Nobody has a passion for your care like Northern Star Chiropractic. Come see and feel what we can do for you today. 906-291-2300, Northern Star Chiropractic, downtown Newberry.
If you're looking for a furry friend to help brighten your days, then look no further than the Luce County Animal Shelter. They have many lovable pets, just waiting to find their forever homes. From playful pups and cuddly kittens, to gentle dogs and cats looking for a quiet place to call home, the Luce County Animal Shelter has the perfect companion for you. Visit the Luce County Animal Shelter today, and let's create heartwarming memories together. Because when you adopt, you're not just finding a pet, you're finding a lifelong friend.
All right, 4th quarter, Indians trailing the Mustangs 6-0 in an old school heavyweight fight. Dan Hardenbrook, Jeff Bucket, glad to have you along. Next week, Indians will head to Rudyard. The boys from the Rudyard Bulldog Bulletin, the video broadcast over in Rudyard. I remember when I was a young kid running around the hallways and somebody gave me a microphone. Look at me now.
I'm sure those guys aren't excited even a little bit, Dan.
They do a great job, and they'll have to call on the E.U.P Sports Network, courtesy of the Rudyard student broadcast crew next week.
There it is. Indians on the drive. The few around the end. I see no flags. There are no flags.
Touchdown.
And that tied it up there. What a drive.
You said it during the break. We have got something cooking here, and a great show of character by the Indians. You mentioned you have the miscue on the punt, come up with a big goal line stop, you get a big play, lose it on the fumble, have to come up with 20 yards on a 3rd down, and then they finally break the big one, and we are tied at 6. And a big conversion coming up here.
Boy, was that fun to watch. The blocking was exquisite, and the Pew got after it and scored. Huge PAT here, Daniel.
No.
Rahali in there.
Right forward. Okay, for the first time since early on this Friday last year, the Indians are on top of the Mustangs. They have done a lot as a program in the past few years, and they have not beaten the Mustangs.
Coach Smithson just said it to me. Some great defense right there led to points. And there come the fireworks for the first time, Dano. The fireworks.
Glad to see Tom Sanders, T-Bone, still awake in the front lawn over there.
Oh, you know he's chomping at the bit.
He loaded up.
He wanted that one.
Loaded up for this one, and fireworks few and far between. But Kennedy Depew on the big touchdown run And the Indians have broken through, and you wonder if that's just what they needed to spark the fire late in this ball game.
That certainly could be, Dano. Just under 12 minutes to go, though. So much football left to play. We'll see how the Newberry defense responds.
Deep for the Mustang.
Wow, did they block that well, Dan? I'm still amazed by that. Here we go.
Hamilton will run up and do the kickoff. Sends it deep, about the 20. Dietzman, right side, gets wrapped up and driven down. Kennedy DePew picks up right where he left off. And boy, somebody flipped his switch at halftime.
Yeah, somebody turned him on, and he's ready to go. You know that this Munising game means a lot to the DePew family.
I saw Mr. DePew, the original Mr. DePew, down sideline during the JV game, and I said, they should call this the DePew Bowl.
That's what.
And guess what, Coach? Chop block.
Yeah.
Back up the Mustang.
Now, another break here for the Indians, and we'll take it.
On the return, it goes from the spot of the foul, and it means we're starting at the 23-yard line.
Got to have a good stand here. Let's get that ball back.
Indians get wide up front. They want to funnel that back to the inside. They do there, and I can tell you, we look a step quicker.
Nothing fancy there. Gabe Luck played off the block and came over and sealed it. DePew comes from the other side and mops it up with a good hit.
I'm telling you what, if my knee was in the shape Jacob Mohar's is in, and I'm flying around like this, you'd have to get a shovel and put me in the ground.
There's no quitting that kid. He's just hard-nosed.
Will set his feet from 7 yards deep and come meet you is amazing.
And then he gets up and kind of shakes his leg a little and right back in it. Here he comes again.
Mohar there.
Mohar again. Here comes help, everybody.
Hamilton and Nolet.
Nolet and Big Hamilton comes in and gives them the thump on the end. Not enough for the first down, Dan, so it brings up third down, a big third down for this Indian defense.
See what Coach Mendoza dials up here. The thing, too, about Hamilton playing back is he can come up and fill a hole on the D-line, so can Nelson. Indians flip their backers. Hamilton shows he's
Here
coming.
comes the backer. He took him right to the A-gap. That's the second time I've seen him make that slide for a big man to come through and make that play. That's a huge play now.
And they faked out the Mustangs. Hamilton came up. He gives that little tap to indicate what way he's going. Mustangs are looking. He comes opposite way.
Man.
Go get the center.
That's
the big man moves well.
And now, Mustangs, they do punt out of this formation. Punter's fair game. They're going to go for it and dance. The let's there.
Nowhere to go.
Holly.
Oh!
DePew.
There we go.
Name them all, and the Indians take over.
I think there was some indecision that time.
That's a little shatter step. You can still punt it.
Left himself in no man's land. And
tell you what, Mr. Nelson has been beat up in this second half.
Indians are hitting hard. They're coming out.
Yep.
DePew.
That's
Mohar.
the tough spot about running. Play coach.
Wow.
Is if he's 7 yards deep in punt formation and he decided to run the play, he's off limits.
Yeah.
But he lines up. He's
he's fair game. You can give him a lick. And we did.
And it looks like now it's the back.
They're all tended to him here. They're getting him up. It's like he's going to be okay. There we go. Nice hand for him. You don't want to see any of these young men hurt on either team.
That's the arm. Right shoulder not moving.
I think we kind of saw that just a little while ago when he had tried to get in the end zone, Dano.
Yeah.
And then the Indians put a lick on him, and he came off a little bit with a little kind of waving that wing a little bit. And I think we just saw it again.
And a matchup that has been so close in recent meetings. You could split these two teams by a hair the past couple of years. A 4th and 1, and the Indians come up with a big stop, and Uncle Mo is in favor of the whole team right now. And Matt Matson.
We wiggled our feet a little bit. Big baby in the middle. Didn't get his feet set the way he wanted to, and he moved them, and he can't do that, and he knows better.
Well, the good news is we needed to get it back to about 17 yards before we got the wheels rolling last drive.
That's true. So we'll see what the Indians come out here and do offensively.
Hey,
they have a chance to put this away.
You know it's not going to be easy.
No.
Not in this game.
Not in this
matchup.
Not when you're paying for a trophy against Munising at home. Nothing's going to be easy.
And he can spread it out. Rahali's going to look
deep.
Little curl out. Mohar bobbles and hangs on. First down Indian, or close to a first down Indians.
I love that kid, Dano. He gets up and he wiggles that leg a little bit and gets right back in the huddle.
I'm looking at the wrong stick. 2nd and 7, not almost a first down.
He wiggles that leg. You know it hurts him. Doc said he can't hurt it any worse. It's just going to hurt. That perseverance will carry on with that young man the rest of his life.
You're not going to hurt it any worse. That doesn't mean it's any less
That
painful.
it doesn't hurt. That's right. The Indians come to the line. Big Pavey to the right. Hampton over the ball.
With 2 full ACLs to say.
Great snap. Rahali.
Bobs looks. He's got Mohar.
Mohar open. Throws a little bit over his head.
In the corner.
Oh, 9:02 to go, Dano. Stops the clock. 8-6 Newberry brings up a 3rd down, though, now, Dano.
Plus side of the field. They're definitely 4 down territory.
We're definitely
here.
4, yeah.
An Indians defense that really it wasn't even a bad play on the long touchdown.
No.
It was a good run.
It was a good run. It was a heck of a run.
But they've been locked down ever since.
We're going to split here.
Empty.
No back.
Oh.
2 plays to get 7 yards.
We're going to go jet motion. Fake it. Rahali tries to counter off, and again, he's just got 2 guys following him everywhere. And 4th down and long coming for the Indians.
And that's something that this team and Matty are going to have to deal with the rest of the season. I think he was able to surprise some people last year. No one's surprised at how good he is this year. They just know.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to deal with that a lot. So this team is going to have to learn to adjust with that.
All U.P. players are freshmen and sophomore at 2 different positions.
They're going to be looking him up. All right, a huge play here for the Indians. 4th down. 8:24 to go. 8-6 Newberry in the Axe game.
Snap. Rahali looks. Pressure. Rolls out. Buys time. He's got to get rid of it. Throws a duck. Depew. Back to the ball.
I can't believe it. Can you believe that, people? You people watching the game, you saw it. I saw it. Steve-O saw it. And you saw it at home. What a play. Rahali being mugged. He was being mugged. I thought we should have called a cop. He was getting beat up, and he whips it downfield, and Depew comes back. All by himself, comes off the coverage, and what a catch. Can you believe you just saw that?
Mustangs rushing guys off the field. They had their stop defense in there.
Oh, I like that play.
Right side. Pounds it down to about the 6 or the 7. Depew was at about the 5. Comes chugging back.
Well, that's just how they drew that last play up, Dano.
You mentioned Matty getting mugged. Well, Kennedy had a guy on back.
Him, right all over him.
To come back to that ball, to make the catch, to hang on.
Smart football. That's a sense of the game that I don't think you can teach.
That was Indians in the out. They fake. Rahali fumbles it. He's back on it. Disaster averted. The exchange, a little bit of a miscue there. But again, the Indians keep backing up before they'll go forward. Tell you what, that was like that Super Bowl play with the Giants all those years ago with Eli Manning spinning and dancing and throwing it. The guy is catching it off his helmet.
But now we're 3rd in the scenic stretch to go, Dano, and we'll see what Coach Austin comes up with here.
I think you're in the same scenario you were last drive.
I think so.
You don't have a lot of plays that'll get you 17.
No, that's going to limit you. You got to get half of it if you can and see what you can do to get in the end zone on the end. I mean, you got to get down to the 2 for even the first down. Indians timeout, where I think we're kind of close to too much time. We had the back judge counting, and we're forced to use our first timeout of the half, I think, now.
Yes, 2 remaining, 6:29 to go. Indians on top 8-6. Mentioned next week Indians are in Rudyard. You can catch the Bulldogs in action tomorrow night on the E.U.P Sports Network because they are home against Rapid River. Brimley will play mid-pen. Coverage from Eagle 95.1 in the Sioux. Available on the network as well. Manistique was down 22-14 in Ishpeming at the half tonight. I'll be in Manistique next week, Friday night. The next 2 Fridays with the Emeralds.
I always enjoy that broadcast.
It's weird going back and watching 11-man football now.
It is. I bet it is. Well, here we go.
Football opener this weekend. The Wolverines get East Carolina Saturday. Central goes into
East Lansing.
East Lansing.
Always dangerous.
Not Traverse City Central. They were booked.
They were booked.
Snap here. Rahali looks deep post underthrown, and Mohar really didn't have anywhere to go. Guy had him over the top and underneath.
4th down. From the 20. About 18 yards for the first down, so we could get a first down before we get to the goal line, Daniel. But if you thought the playbook was thin last time, it thins out even more here.
This is right where we want them.
But we have the ball and they don't, and that's a good thing. In the spread, Rahali the lone back. 6:25 to go in the game. The Indians lead 8-6. Rahali alone. Drifts out of the pocket. Throws it up.
Deep ball. Jump ball.
Stop, but I think that's coming back.
There's a flag.
I think we're going to see a pass interference call, but Rahali comes up and makes the tackle.
Oh, Walter with a shot.
Looks like the umpire or the back judge, one of them went down. The Indians picks them up, and that's interference. And I'm coming over to high five Dan Hardenbrook, and I'm going to high five Joe Smithson because we just caught a break.
Over the top.
He can't do that.
Rod Priscorn, I never say a bad word about him ever.
I know how you like officials, Dan.
I love officials.
I love officials. That's right.
Turning over a new leaf. So that was a jump ball in the end zone, and Coach, tough to defend if you're the Mustangs. The old Hail Mary ball.
It was. Matty took the ball, and I'm not sure why he took off running to his left. I guess he's used to scrambling out of the pocket, but he stepped back in and threw it. Sometimes you get a break, and you take it, Dan.
That's right.
You take it, baby.
Guess what? That's not going to show up in the box score.
That will not show up in the box
It's
score.
captured for eternity on the internet. It ain't going to show up in the box.
It's going to show up in the box score, that's for sure. And here come the Indians.
Matty's coming back. Indians taking a lot of time here, but
4th down.
They had their defense out on the field after the interception return. And I tell you what, man, Blake Walter and Matthew Rahali, they may have a conversation on the ice rink when they're teammates this winter. Because Walter came in and gave them a big old pop in that scrum at the end of the return. The question here was, where is half distance to the goal?
They're readjusting. I think they marched it off, but it should have been half the way. I like the first way they placed it, but this is the correct call. We get a new play clock.
Fresh set of downs. 6:09 to go. And if you're Matson, you got to hope your defense can do what Newberry did earlier at this end of the field. Joe Austin hoping for the breakthrough. Quick little out and up, and Mohar incomplete. Good coverage there by Walter.
That's good coverage.
Tried a little double move there, a little Z route.
And defensively, the Indians take over. And we'll see.
Mohar's just trying to get a hard step to the edge and open up that little post or that slant. And Walter was playing back and read it the whole way.
Yeah.
And timed it perfect.
So let's see if the Indians defense can rise again, Dano. They got 6:04 to last here as they lead by 2 in the Axe game.
2nd and 10. Or 2nd and goal, rather.
Oh, Gabe Luck again.
Straight forward.
Luck refusing to be blocked.
Yep.
Refusing to be blocked. What a big play for a big loss of 2 yards.
Ball on the Munising 7-yard.
7-yard line.
The Indian defense
It is
continues to excel here, Dan.
goal to go situation here.
We can't get pulled up here. Make sure our secondary is staying alert.
Around the
There it is the other way. We're
Mustang's
getting held
got it
inside. But great pursuit by the Indians. Depew is over there
Dig down here.
with a host of other Indians. A big third down again, Dano. 3rd and 9.
Gotta
As
get
the
a
clock
stop.
continues to run.
5 minutes.
Okay, all right, never mind. Yeah.
Hamilton coming. Pushes the pile. Throw.
Goes at Raleigh.
Raleigh. Quick interception. Oh, the magician does it again.
What a play by the athlete Rahala as he steps in front of it, taps it, juggles it, throws it behind himself, catches it. And
one-handed grab.
Just athletically a stellar athlete. And he comes up with the rest of the Indians on a defensive stop, and he comes over to the sidelines. Oh, we caught a firework on that one, Dano.
Matthew
What a
Rahali's
stop.
4th interception in the first 2 games of the season.
So, here we go again, Dan. Can we get in this time?
Both teams' goal line stands. But the turnover in the first half went Mustang's way. This half it goes Newberry's. Low snap. Rahali gathers, gets. Oh, Nelson had a hole, and we get a flag. And we'll see what it is behind the
Looks like
play.
Is that going to be roughing? No, that's holding on the Indians.
Oh. Again, we go back before we go forward.
We do. We do.
We're taking the long way.
We are taking the long way to get to the Yaks, that's for sure. 4:44 left.
Some people take Main Street. Some people go through Dollarville.
That's
to get to
right.
28.
That's right, Dano.
Eventually, you end up in the same spot you hope.
Let's keep the clock running. Get this thing going again. 4:44 to go. The Indians lead 8-6 in the Axe game. But it's 1st and 22.
Movement.
And we didn't snap the ball.
That's never good when the ball's
So
sitting
that's
down.
5
and Mohar
more.
is about 10 yards down.
So we're 1st down and a E.U.P's bar tab to go. But we have the ball and they don't, and that's a good thing still, Dano.
I think the E.U.P bar tab will be a little bit higher than this if the Indians win.
Before this game's over, I'm sure it would be. I hope they're watching this game out at wherever you are, camp or wherever you are. I hope you're enjoying our broadcast this evening. I sure am enjoying being back.
Indians will go. Twins left. Nelson leads for Rahali. Gets the corner, breaks free. Covers it up down to the 25.
Okay.
Big thing there, out of bounds. That'll help the Mustangs stop the clock. 1st and 27. I can't make up my mind if I want to sit or if I want to stand. I'm going to fall out the window.
It's got me walking and moving. So we get it to 2nd and 20.
Helen Newberry Joy should be down here doing blood pressure checks right now.
Certainly would be.
I know it's about 12,000 degrees, close to the surface of the sun up here in the box.
there is no AC in the box.
Beautiful night.
Outside it sure is.
Rahal wants the deep ball. Depew has a beat. Oh, what a play.
What a play.
Logan Gould, the senior, puts a palm up as a prayer.
And that guy can't be 5 foot tall. But man, did he play hard, get up in the air, knock that away.
Because there's no wind. There's no breeze out here.
Depew had him beat.
Kid soars.
Brings up 3rd down and 20.
Talk about a difference. Last week we had an hour-long weather delay. About 30-mile-an-hour winds, rain.
And here, dead. Nothing. Beautiful weather.
give. Nelson gets slowed down. Mustangs. Will they use a timeout? They do. There it is. 4:08 to go. They will have 2 timeouts remaining.
Brings up 4th down. And about 20 for the Indians.
Look at Gabe Luck, coach. Look at him the whole way back over.
He's talking to everybody. He's getting them fired up. He wants that axe, and he's getting ready to go. He wants a senior picture with the axe. That's one of the benefits of winning it.
The axe has spent few and far years in between in Newberry. You had a good couple of year run. It's kind of gone in waves.
It does. It has. And I have
had it initially. Then Newberry had a nice little run with it. Now the Mustangs have hung on to that. It's really became the trophy rivalry game since we lost Sioux High.
It is the fight, that's for sure.
And of course, the junior jug, as I called it.
Yes.
The new little brown jug has been retired. I know there was some murmurs about let's put Slap St. Ignace's logo on there. You don't need a trophy for that one, and that comes up week 6.
Absolutely. I hope that we get to play someone for it because that should be happening.
Snap here. Rahali has pulled the rabbit out of the hat before. Looks. Deep ball. The
Pew. Now that's got to be interference. He catches it. He pulls it away. There are no flags. There are no flags, Coach Smithson. And I think it's they said they were going to get it. They kept throwing it at him, and they ended up getting it done.
17 yards worth of penalties, a no gain.
Here come the fireworks.
A fumbled snap, and this is the play.
This is the play
right here.
And I know we've been saying it all game that this is the play of the game. This is the play of the game. We got started. This might be the play of the game.
I about ripped out my vocal cords on that touchdown call. Unbelievable.
I can't believe I just saw that.
Shoulder, I think with one hand.
For Rahali, the offensive line that blocked well. Rahali gave a head fake there and there, got free and threw it, and the Pew just came and got it.
Okay. Jet motion. It's Caduti, coach.
Yes, it is.
The Pew in the flat. Take it away. Jump pass. Got it.
They got it. That's a huge play right there. But that makes it 16-6.
I was going to ask you
score game.
Prior to that, see, Rahali a little nicked up, can't kick. It's the jump pass.
There it is. You can hear Coach Matson screaming Caduti. We've been running Caduti since Paransky was playing. Pete Paransky actually brought it in, I think, and other coaches adopted it, adjusted, always called Caduti, and you could hear Coach Matson screaming, Coach Caduti, it's Caduti. And it didn't
wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning screaming Caduti if it goes to sleep at all.
The Indians executed it, and they get ahead 16-6 with 3:54 to go, and that puts Munising back against a wall, Dano.
2 timeouts left, and boy, the Mustangs burnt one thinking they were getting the ball back.
They did.
The Indians had to stack up their chips and come to play.
Here we
go.
go.
Second half, and they have delivered. Hamilton, the boot.
Good kick by the sophomore.
Fielded at the 15. Kane gets a nice return. First part of the first piece of the puzzle.
There'll be no quit in this Munising.
I can't believe I can talk for a living.
There'll be no quit in this Munising team.
Yep.
Don't dare stop watching this game because this is long from over, Dano.
Kane gets it out to the 43. Mustangs do need 2 scores regardless.
They need one pretty.
We're going to see some things we haven't seen, like
this
reverse wishbone spread. Nelson got a piece of it. It's incomplete. Good job by Nelson coming up the middle. Wasn't going to get their hands up in the lane.
I am impressed with the physicalness of the Newberry Indians. And I know it's that kind of game. We knew it would be physical. But I am so impressed with the way that this team is hitting.
Not over yet. Second down. Trips to the left. Indians put one guy out there.
Oh, and here comes Luck. 100 miles an hour. He's hanging on. He missed him.
Millette missed him.
Millette missed him.
Now,
Davey can't
Nelson
get to him.
pulls it down.
Mohar, he missed him.
Nelson keeps
Big
going.
Davey
and
didn't miss
Davey
him.
Says playtime's over.
Davey, the big Grizzly was trailing the play, looking for. And he got one right there.
Davey over the piano.
Bigger than the bear. And he got it done, the big man. Never gave up.
By Nelson.
Yes.
He's been hit by a Mack truck and then some in the second half.
Here comes Hamilton again.
3rd and 1. Indians come off. Nobody got
no
one there. He's there.
Nobody home that time.
For Gabe Luck.
That's
Ball game here with 2:50 to go.
Brings up a 4th down, Daniel. 2:46 to the clock, continues to run, Daniel.
You would assume that if Rudyard gets through their game tomorrow night, that would set up a big 2-0 versus 2-0 next week.
If we can get through this.
If we can get through this. Coach, as I'm talking about next week, and Coach looks like he wants to throw me out the window.
Let's not do that yet. Snap.
They want
3-man
bubble.
rush.
Cody.
Good
Middle. He is short.
He's short.
Nobody comes in. There's no line.
Way back.
They're going to stop the clock so they can clear the dust. Rod Prisco and eyeball.
Boy, I'm not.
He moves it back a smidge.
He kind of split the difference.
Steve Wilson says, bring it out.
Oh, here we go.
Let's get a good look
Here
at
we
the
go.
chains.
Coach Smithson, what do you think? He's standing right on the 50. He can see this better than anybody.
It's Newberry's ball.
Coach is saying it's going to be Newberry's ball. I'm not going to doubt him because I've never doubted him in my life. And I'm saying the Indians are going to take over on downs.
If this is a 1st down. Rod, they bring out the sticks.
Stretch, baby. Oh!
Horrible.
I guess you can tell by the groans from the press box in the crowd that Munising snuck in the 1st down. Coach Klickner's talking to the linesman over here. Wanted to know why. And here we go. We got to line up and play defense.
Never like
that's exciting.
On the snap.
That's an exciting snap. We threw a flag over here. Looks like a legal procedure. The motion on the Mustangs.
Gave up 30 yards there.
So that should have been blown dead.
Clock stops. Going to be a false start. Which is, you know what? Pre-snap. Does that wipe out the...
I believe it does.
That's going to wipe out the bad snap.
Dead ball, foul, false start. Play shouldn't have went.
Play shouldn't have went. Clock has to come back to 1:58. It's like it never happened, but we're going to do it again 5 yards deeper. So something did happen because you and I saw it. And here come the Mustangs.
Like when you're in court and they say strike that from the record.
That's what it was.
Not that you or I spend a lot of time in court.
Well, let's stick with that story, Dan.
I saw a TV show.
That's a better story.
Spread.
Snap. Here come the Indians.
Adult pass.
He bobbles. Catches. No good.
Says incomplete.
Bobble out of bounds. That stops the clock with 1:52. The Indians lead 16-6 in the Axe game of 2023 down. 2nd and 15 after the motion penalty.
Mustangs are quick to the huddle. Stay in spread.
Oh,
they draw.
Gabe Luck. Here it comes.
Behind.
Who was that?
Gabe Luck.
That's Gabe. Here comes Gabe Luck. He said, not on my watch.
Man.
You better get rid of it quicker than that. The clock continues to run now. 1:36, 1:35.
Got to go no huddle. Hamilton gets a
Hamilton like
start.
a bear. He runs by him, but the sophomore missed him. We
Deep
throw
ball.
it deep.
Holly tracking it. Intercepted.
Picked up by Holly. He's going to run it back the other way.
It's an off the other way. Across midfield.
We should be able to run that clock out. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Right here, you saw it, folks. You saw it right here. on M123 F the E.U.P Sports Network.
As
The
soon
Newberry
as
News on YouTube. Oh my
Hamilton-
gosh.
As soon as Hamilton missed the sack, I looked deep, and Rahali's just playing center field. We got a man down.
Looks like a cramp. It looks like he's going to be okay.
I can't see who it is. 22, which is Jack DeSalt, who is the go-to receiver. Matthew Rahali, 2 interceptions, a couple of improbable passes.
There's just this Newberry Indian team has impressed me in this second half like beyond belief.
Looks like a dang hurricane went through the press box up here.
There's been some movement up here. I think Coach Smithson has knows enough to know that he saw too much and he's out of here. He's going to try to get ready and hopefully for a celebration.
Nelson.
Give to Nelson both hands on the ball. I don't think we're going to pry that out of there with a 3-foot pry bar, Dano. And there's the timeout from Coach Matson.
No, timeout. And he goes like this, the old sidearm. Guess what, Coach? I'll give you one of these back because there's not a lot of answers down by 10 with a minute left. It's father time.
Here we go. You saw it right here, folks, just like I did, and I can't believe I saw half of it, and I think I've seen damn near everything.
I thought I had.
What a fun game to watch so far. I hope it ends up with me smiling after the next minute and 13. But I'm never going to count these Munising Mustangs out. There's no quitting them either. They got a lot of pride. And they're going to play hard right till the end, but their back is against it, and they're against it because of strong, solid play by the Indians.
Somebody needs to stay by Coach Austin's side. Look at Coach Klickner, hands in the air. Everybody just waiting to exhale. Rahali stays in bounds.
Clock is wound.
Timeout Mustangs.
That's their last one, I believe, Dano.
You can kneel on it, right?
I think you can, yeah.
Can you get 3 knees here?
I think you can.
3rd and 2 for the Munising 37-yard line.
Minute 2 to go. 16-6.
Big fellows up front. Pavey, Hamilton, Jude Taylor, Gabe Luck at tight end. Much better in this second half.
We didn't say much about Jude Taylor, and we should have, because he blocked his tail off. He did what he's supposed to do. And an offensive lineman shouldn't be noticed. If he's not noticed, he's probably doing the job that he was hired to do. They're the best people in the game in my book, but I'm a little bit biased because I was one.
Glad to see Gavin Nutkins able to get up and get crutched over. Gav starting his senior year out with an injury.
Rahali in the middle.
Takes it up the middle. Just
dives. Gets the first down.
First down, and she's over. That was why the Indians couldn't take a knee. It was 3rd down.
They had to get it.
Had to get the first.
But now we're okay.
Where is she, Coach?
Looks like we're on about, what is that, the 24? 34.
Yeah.
Get the victory formation here. Just sit down.
The Newberry Indians are going to extinguish one of the ghosts that
I'm
they
hugging
could
my
not
friend
get
Dan.
by.
Wow. Wow, folks. Thank you so much for being here and watching and listening with us.
And Munising has had everything, almost everything, go their way the past couple of years when they played the Indians. It's been so close. It's been so tight. Matt Matson's going to tip his cap.
Congratulations to the Newberry Indians.
They can stop hating each other now. It's a lot of respect now that it's over.
Well,
and the Indians win the axe.
What is that going to do to the conference, Dan? Oh, man. Things are getting excited. Here come the fireworks. Bringing it on. The Indians line up to shake hands. Our officials lead the field, Dan. They did a good job. It's never an easy job. I want to thank them for being here.
As the fireworks go off to the west end zone, the Indians will come across. And everybody kind of just stood for a brief second. It felt like an eternity when that thing was over. And the collective sigh of relief. And that's what it is when you survive one of these ball games.
Absolutely.
You're glad it's over, even if you win.
And you came out on top. After those 2 games last year, there's a little bit of redemption for those last year's seniors. Those listening can feel that.
Gets the axe. Somebody take that thing away from him. He's bringing it back over. I'm surprised he's not swinging it. And this may be the final ride for the old ball coach.
Yeah, to bring the axe home to the Newberry faithful.
And Gabe Luck gets to bring it to the sideline.
Bring it to the sideline, waving it up and down, giving it a kiss, and that's the way it's supposed to be, Dano. That's the way high school football is. To the victors go the spoils, and the spoils is the axe. And it came home tonight, and you and I were here, and the Newberry faithful to see it.
The sweet sounds of loyalty surrounding the axe as the Indians go to 2-0. Holy moly, not a person is left. They're coming out of the stands. The holiday weekend party gets to go one day longer.
Fantastic. The short week paid off. The hard work paid off. The hard play paid off tonight. And that was just perseverance on the Newberry's.
It's, the last team standing, right?
We said
Newberry had a little bit more in the fourth quarter. They forced those 2 turnovers. How about the big goal line stop?
The big goal line stance was huge after the punt. Had some bad luck there. After we come out, we stop, we make the big play. There was just no quit in us. We played hard all over. We made mistakes, Dan. We made mistakes, and you're high school kids. I don't care who's playing this game, they're going to make mistakes. But they're all surrounding Coach Austin, the other coaches around, all the boys on a knee. Coach Austin shaking the axe. What a game, Dano. Thanks for allowing me to be here.
We got to pick a Pickleman's Total One Stop Newberry Subway player of the game tonight. You can go with Matthew Rahaly 10 times out of 10. But there's one guy we called a ton tonight.
My guy's got to be.
I would think. I want to go with Gabe Luck.
I was going to say you got to go Gabe Luck or Depew. They both played so hard and so well.
Matthew Rahaly just. There's stuff that no other human on the planet that he can do. Offense and defensive line,
great choice.
Hey, 15 penalties last week, Coach. We only had a couple here tonight.
We cleaned that up.
We didn't turn the ball over a ton. The one we had was just a miscommunication. Kid's making a football play and doesn't see the football.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Connor Slatt.
Yeah. Look,
Indians
Depew,
with the win.
Hamilton. I mean, all of those guys. You got your seniors with the axe, and they'll get everybody out there. Pictures will be taken here tonight. Senior pictures will be taken. They'll carry it around the school. They'll have it in the locker room. At the end of the season, you'll finally see it back at home in the trophy case.
Jacob Mohar gets our Northern Star Chiropractor bone-crunching hit of the game. The opening kickoff in the second half. And that kind of set the tone as the Indians go to 2-0. Rudyard is able to win their game over Rapid River tomorrow night. They'll be big favorites. That sets up 2-0 versus 2-0. They both beat Munising, who basically got to run the table to still have a shot in this conference race. You can't forget about Pickford. That'll be a big ball game next week for the Indians and the Bulldogs. We're going to wrap it up here from the Newberry High School football field, where the Indians are victorious in the battle for the Axe. 16-6 your final with M123 FM, the E.U.P Sports Network, and the Newberry News.